Hello, dear chess viewers. Welcome back to the fourth episode of Art of Attack of Think Chess. And as we have started a series of sharing my unique attacking notes, we have come to the fourth episode. And today's episode is Cunning Fox. Well, Cunning Fox, you will ask me exactly what it means. Here, we are not discussing about the king, but we are discussing about the knight on the chessboard. Well, the knight is considered to be a very tricky piece, and knights have that unique ability to fork and create a mess. And he has that special cunning and very tricky way to surprise the opponent with his crafty leaps, and sometimes in time trouble, it's very hard to control a knight. And many times you can see many in time trouble, there are a lot of blunders and some silly forks. A game which doesn't deserve to be lost is suddenly lost, or it's you should I mean the game a player deserves to win, he suddenly loses because of some silly knight fork, and the game tables are turned. So I could call it cunning knights, but the reason I call it the cunning fox is if you can look at the knight, it looks so noble and it looks so royal. It is very hard to give a title, or I would say give some adjective before the knight like cunning knight. So I thought that the cunning and the trickiness generally resembles to a fox. If you can see the face of a knight, naturally you won't feel anything bad about it, or you won't have that much feeling like he is cunning. So that's the reason I call them Cunning Fox. So the title is Cunning Fox, and we will be discussing about the features of knight, and how knights can be used and how knight forks can be avoided both ways. So yeah, this is a position, and there are a couple of things when the position will start. Whenever we go deeper into this discussion of Cunning Fox, I will slowly share some of the secrets I derived. Maybe it's not 100%, maybe there are many other features of knight, but if you can use this cunning knight theory, at least you can check this cunning knights, and if you respect that crafty leaps and the ability to fork, you can control the knight to a greater extent. So let's see this position. It's white to play. What should white play in the given position? Again, we are discussing mainly about the knights, but the theme is art of attack. So the cunning knight, the cunning fox, related to the attacking the king. So white to play. What should white do? As you can see, the X-ray is there, and two beautiful knights are already charged up against the fortress of black's king. Okay, knight a7, I don't think that's the best move, because after king b8, I don't know what is next white is going to do. So naturally not this. See, one more important aspect of a knight, or I would say a feature of a knight, is knight likes control. So if you have that particular point, if you have that check post, or I would say if you land on that perfect point, then only the knight is powerful. You can see if the knight is here, if you can shift to here, it is just one square, but totally the balance or equation changes. So the per square theory for knight applies, or I would say the margin of per square is much more than a bishop. Just imagine, suppose you keep the bishop on e5, it is controlling h8, and if you keep it on d4, still it controls h8 too anyway. Okay, it won't attack c7, but at least he has that diagonal. But if you shift this knight to this square, or I would say even e4, just say this square, totally the equation changes if this knight is shifted to this square. So naturally it doesn't have that same thing. The knight requires special post, or I would say special square. Okay, now I think you have got it maybe. So let's check it out. So the first move is totally out of the world, or I would say totally surprising move. A bombarded move, knight to c6. Wow, and suddenly this c7 looks more vulnerable than it was one move ago. That is, this knight can be taken by this queen, it can be taken by the bishop, doesn't matter. Now queen c7 is mate, and if he takes with the queen, then we have knight a7 winning the queen. So knight c6, what a splendid move, and the only way for black to do is rook g7, and after rook g7 white doesn't need to do anything of this sort. Maybe first knight a7, king d7, and now principle of double attack, this point and this point, that means queen e5. Okay, knight d2 is possible, but I think this is almost a mate, so this is basically game over. And after king e8, sorry, after queen e5, suppose he plays bishop c6, it's queen takes g7, game over. And after this you can just take, and the final move is just to take this knight, not by rook e4 but by playing f3, and you are up a rook. So one small move, which breaks the coordination of queen to c7, queen to c5 to pawn on c7, number one. Number two, the knight blocks this two important squares, and now knight a7 is almost a mate. I mean, if he plays rook d7, it's mate in one. Okay, so I hope you got an idea about this tricky knights, like what exactly the chapter is. We will slowly move deeper inside this the presentation which I made for you. Cunning Fox. Okay, next position. It is white to play. What should white do? And here, before you take a look at the Cunning Fox, that is the knight on g5, don't just see from that perspective. If you want to make best of the attacking knowledge which I am giving to you, please try to see the position as a whole. Don't just think because it's a knight fork or because it is Cunning Fox, the first move should be knight, or you should think that way. That's not correct. Alright, so white to play. You can see this bishop, you can see this queen, you can see this rook, you can see the knight, and also don't forget this rook as well. So everyone is attacking, so naturally there is no more moves which will improve the position, but it is now white has to go for a kill. Okay, take 1 or 2 minutes and I'm sure you will get this. Okay, the first move, eliminating the defender on this square and this square. So queen g6, the f pawn is untouchable, so h pawn takes. And now the Cunning Fox. This fox is actually showing that he is the one who is going to help white to deliver a checkmate. I mean, this is a general assumption we can make, right? When the knight is on g5, knight is on f5. But this knight has some very, very cunning motive. I mean, the ideas of this knight, or I would say the intention of this knight, is very tricky. It's very difficult to spot it right away. Maybe after queen g6 at g6 you can find the move. And the move is bishop f7, bam, check, rook f7, and now, thank you, rook h8, check, king h8, and knight f7. So you can see this one more feature of a knight. It is stretching the arm like this. One hand, the right hand pulls, and the left hand also pulls. It controls two different objects, which is very difficult for in a time trouble, or especially the position is in a mess. So one of the secret which a grandmaster, especially the Carsten Muller, endgame expert Carsten Muller, he said one very instructive statement. He made a very instructive statement on knight, and it definitely helped me to understand the knight more, his weaknesses and his strength. Actually, knight is not a strong piece. Knight is a tricky piece. Again, the fox is tricky. Fox is not like a tiger. Fox is not like an elephant. But fox has that eyes of fox are so cunning, no? It can make any animal fool. That typical the eyes of the fox are, and I don't want it to make a knight cunning. I don't want to look at his eyes and say you are cunning. It's not. Knight is so noble and so royal, but the fox is cunning. So I better we call him as a fox. So the eyes of the fox are so cunning that something is going in their mind. Okay, so as you can see, the knight is stretching one hand, right hand here, left hand here, and the fork destroys everything. And after this, knight takes d6, you are up a pawn, and one pawn is enough to win the game, especially with a broken pawn structure. One last move black can do is rook d8, so that if the knight moves, don't play knight b7. By the way, this would be more of a technical illustration, or I would say a video. Maybe later we will discuss about the positional aspects. But knight b7 is not a good move, because after rook d4, even though white is up a pawn, this rook is so active, it's very difficult to win the game. So we need control, and if you can find a move, one last technical detail. Yes, the move is rook e6. Okay, so rook e6, nice move. And now rook controls this. Thanks to this knight, it controls f7. And yeah, this finally white will play f3, bring the king to f2, and slowly it will be a technical win, but white is up a pawn. Alright, so this was very interesting example, queen g6. I'm not sure whether this game was between, this idea I saw in Petrosian games, not the latest Petrosian, but the world champion, the old one. I saw some of the similar features. I saved so many games, and I found this as a knight Cunning Fox theme. Alright, let's dive into the third one. White to play. This is very beautiful, and I want you to think properly. Two knights, as I have discussed, as many players know, queen and knight is a very strong combination. And now there are two fox. So the fox are uniting each other, and they are helping white to make sure that this black king falls. So white to play. What should white do? Again, this is, if you can see, there are a lot of helping stones. So the helping stones are the one which is going to help knight to win the game. So I could have added this in helping stone, but I wanted to make a video on Cunning Fox, so I thought this way. White to play. Yeah, if you find it, then yeah, you are very good with knights. This secret f file is also very important. Knight e6, beautiful move, simple threat. Queen takes f8, mate. Okay? Yeah, and so this is a very simple threat. And if black plays knight f6, I think we should be just happy to play knight f8. And I think we are up an exchange and an easily winning position. Next one is knight d6, game over. Okay, so the main thing is to play. Sorry. Yeah, knight f8 is possible, but there is something better. Sorry, I forgot it. It's a helping stone checkmate, which I totally forgot. It's white to play and checkmate in two moves, and the helping stones is the big hint. Yeah, when I told you the helping stone, you must have got this. Queen f8, brilliant move. Rook f8 and knight f6. Helping stone, and but okay, the credit now belongs to the Cunning Fox and its mate. And what happens to after knight e6? Pawn takes e6. What should white do? The secret f file is opened, which is going to deliver a mate. Yes, helping stone again. Knight e7, second sacrifice. The door is opened. He has to take, and you can take with the rook, and rook f8 is mate. I like this example very much because this so-called defenders are helping stones, and even though they are helping stones, you need that specific man, and you need that specific commando to fulfill the mission, because you can't just go inside the fortress and win. You need that particular man. Like, I mean, in the next episode I'm going to create one chapter on snipers. So this is more of the tricky fox, the cunning fox, who will creep inside the fortress and hit the right point, and that is the move knight e6. Okay, I hope you like this. I like this very much, and it is this knight moves. If you can observe the knight, then you can make this knight little bit weak. I mean, if you can understand the knight, then you can make that knight look weak. If you are just scared of the knight and if you just move away, then the knight, even though he is not threatening anything, he will start to give some scary threats which will be uncomfortable to deal with. Alright, let's move on to the next. Okay, this is a very cute position of white to play and draw, because white cannot win. So white has to make a draw, and you can see black is already threatening mate here. So yeah, you cannot threaten, I mean you cannot win, but you can make a draw with this cunning fox. And naturally, as you can see, every move should be check, so it's not difficult. The move is rook at 6, king takes at 6, knight g8 check, king h5. Naturally, which check will you give? Naturally, knight f6, and king h6 has to be played. And don't play knight g4, but keep the social distancing alive with the move knight g8. The distance from the rook is important, and it's a draw. Now if black is desperate to win, and if he goes for the suicidal move on h4, this will backfire very badly, and as you guess it right, rook g4 is checkmate, and this is a very bad thing for black. So again, this tricky fox, this cunning fox saves the day. And it is always considered the knights are very good in defense rather than in attack. Okay, they are very good in attack when they are combined with a queen, but if you weigh defense attack, and if you put the knight on both this weighing machine, the defensive technique of a knight is much higher than attacking technique of a knight. Of course, you will see multiple examples with knight attacking. Knight and queen are born to attack, or I would say the most powerful thing. But defensive pattern, knight does a better job, especially when knight is just beside the king. And your knight is in a different mood to save the day by perpetuals. Rook at 6. Okay, I hope you like this, and now it's time to move on to the very last one. And generally what I do is when we move to the last example, I try to make it as challenging as possible, because I like to proceed with proper levels and to emphasize the power slowly. Okay, black, this is a black to play position, and this position is pretty much normal, nothing is much happening, and it doesn't look as if black is going to get busted. It doesn't look as if black is going to get mated or he's going to lose material. He's not. But suddenly, I don't know, maybe here black should have played something like maybe knight e7, or maybe just he could have played can he play knight f6 here? Yeah, he can play knight f6 here. Okay, but black was in some ambitious mood, I think, and he played this move e takes f4, which looks okay. Maybe he thinks that if he goes knight, then we take, and if he takes with the e pawn, then the d4 is, and if he plays with the g pawn, then maybe g file is open. Something like d5 might come later. But he forgot that tactics come before strategy. He forgot that in chess, 99% of the time, you have to first see the tactics. So whenever we make a move, rather than saying this square looks nice, that is secondary thought. The first thought should be, is there any tactical refutation to what am I doing? So ef4, don't think gf4 is I would say the regular move. First you have to think, is there any nasty going to happen? And black is unable to find it, but I am sure you can find it. So it's white's turn to play. What should white do in the given position? Yeah, not knight f4, but knight takes g6. Okay, this example is more to the dragging the snake out theme plus cunning fox theme. So in the earlier episode, I made it helping stones combined with dragging snake. Here it is also helping stone but dragging the snake out. So knight g6. If you takes bishop takes g7, fine. I play knight f8 check, and after rook f8, I will be gladly taking this bishop, and I am up in exchange. So black takes on g6, and now what should be the move? You guess it right. Queen h5 check, and if black is wise, then he should play king f7, and now white is happy to be up a pawn, and now I think, yeah, maybe just gf4 looks like a good alternative. Pawn up, playing king h1, playing rook g1 with a nice attack on the king. But this king was greedy and he took the queen, and now the snake is dragged out. You just have to fix the mating pattern and catch the king. So knight f4 check, no surprise. The knight controls this. Again, thanks to the helping stone. See, everything is coming together. King goes to g5, and now h4 check. King goes to g4. And now, for all of you, the final move of the game. One thing which differentiate between chess and other, say, tennis or maybe badminton, where the momentum is fixed. You hit it, I hit it, you hit it, I hit it. I mean, there is no change in momentum. But in chess, if there is some hitting, you can just pause for some time and play again. So this pause and play technique is only there in chess. And after punching moves like knight g6, queen h5, knight f4, where every move was a check, even h4 was a check. It's time. Oh no, not again. Yeah, it's time for you to find a very cool and calm move and make this king very helpless. Yeah, you can play, don't play bishop f3, which will create some unnecessary complications. Instead, you would prefer a cool and calm move, king h2, big blow to black. Now this is either this is mate or this is mate, and bishop f3, and the king is checkmated. So this example is more look like a dragging the snake out, but in chess you cannot win a game, or I would say very rarely you can just win a game on one theme. You have to combine all sorts of things. I mean, to get this position, first white had to play the opening very well. Secondly, he has to play the middle game very well in order to get a decent position. And thirdly, he has to be good in tactics with calculation. And then fourth is using the technique of what I just illustrated, that the cunning knight, this knight g6, the cunning fox, and this knight f4 technique. So every technique, every pattern, every combination is like a joint work. You have to accumulate or assemble all the ideas together, then you make a beautiful product. Okay, so this concludes this Cunning Fox presentation. I hope it brought some light into using the knights. There are 1,000 different features to discuss with the knight. I mean, chess is such a beautiful game. You cannot put it in small departments, but for at least a human, you can at least put them in proper databases in our mind. I mean, the subconscious mind, which will at least out of 10, 70 to 80%, it will guide you the right way. So that's why words have so much power. So thank you for watching this episode on Cunning Fox. So stay safe and think chess.